Might help if I turn the camera around. Okay. Let's see where I want my light. Oh, this hair. Hi, Roxanne. You would be. Hi, Olivia. Hi. All right, guys. So I'm gonna just sit here for a minute and make sure everybody can see me. I don't know who's gonna jump on. Ignore the hair. I'm looking at the camera. Can you see me? Hi. Ignore this hair. It's not a hair tutorial, so just ignore it. Apparently, when you have babies, your hair falls out, and I didn't know when it was falling out until it grew back in. We're working with some crazy baby hairs. Hi, Olivia. Okay, so I asked, you guys wanted a simple, everyday go-to look. We are going to be using the Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette. It's one of my favorite palettes of all time. It is very, very affordable, and I like it for basically anybody. You've got everything you want, whether you want neutral, simple looks, if you want some color, spice things up, beautiful, beautiful pigment. They're easy to blend. I feel like anybody can use this. Sup, Mackenzie? Yay, Nikki, finally. Okay. So I will go over this with you guys. If you have questions, comment. I will try and answer them. I'm sweating a little bit. I'm a little nervous. Never done this before. But I'll explain to you the products I'm using. The majority of the products I'm going to use are available at the drugstore. I love drugstore makeup. I feel like if you're not really that into makeup, you'd rather go and spend $5 on something than $28 or $17, whatever it is. So I do like to recommend a lot of drugstore products that are good. So I will normally, when I'm doing just an easy, simple look, get done in about under 20 minutes, which sounds like a long time, but it's really not once you get going. And it might take me about that to explain to you guys. What I'm going to start off with, I'm going to be using the Milani Stay Put Brow Pomade Pencil. It looks a little bit like this. And it has your product on one end, a little pencil, and a little spoolie. So we will get in here, and we're just going to comb out the brows a little bit. I have no brows, so this is easy for me. I'm going to do this in my little mirror. Can you guys see me? So all I'm going to do here, you can see, are we focused, is just fill in my brow a little bit. We're not making them thicker, we're not making them longer, we're not using a pomade, we're not doing anything crazy. All we're going to do is darken them up, fill them in a little bit so it looks like I actually have a brow, because I was not blessed with good brows. They're just not much going on there. So we're just going to make small little strokes here, fill it in, take our spoolie, blend it out a little bit, make sure the hairs are going in the direction we want. And see, very, very simple. And it looks kind of weird. I feel like with no other makeup, I wouldn't want this dark of a brow. And the shade I'm using, by the way, is 03 medium brown, because I'm not that dark right now. But it just makes a little bit of difference when you have all your makeup on and just the finished look. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Little strokes. And you're really staying with your natural brow shape. You really don't want to be going a little too crazy and creating something that isn't there. I mean, if we're doing full face, full glam, contour, everything, then yeah, you can go ahead and give yourself the brow you want. But right now, we're just trying to enhance and work with the brow that we have. Super easy, simple, bam, there we go. Looks a little weird right now, but it won't by the time we're finished. We're gonna put that away. If you have oily skin, like I do, I would recommend using a concealer or a primer on your eyelids, because if you have oily lids like I do, your shadow will start to crease and it'll get kind of moved around throughout the day. It depends on how long you're also wearing your makeup. If you have drier skin or regular eyelids, you don't really need a primer. You know, it's just one more step that is going to take you time. And if, you know, you don't want to buy it, you don't want to waste the time, you don't really need it. But if you are oily like me, yes. Sisters, not twins. Try not to have cousins. I kind of have cousins naturally because my eyebrows aren't even, and it's a pain in the butt. But you don't want to do too much to where somebody's like, damn, look at your eyebrows, like you need a little help. So we just enhance. Try and work with what we have. So for me, I'm going to take a little dab of my concealer. I'm using the Maybelline, I don't know what the name of this is. I don't know, but it looks like this. It's a Maybelline product. This is the shade Medium. And I'm just going to put a little dab on my eyelids. I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to blend it out. Hi, Timothy. He'll be like Kai. They can be makeup artists together. I tell Kai he needs to go to cosmetology school and learn how to do hair so he can do my hair one day. I'm blending this with just my finger all the way up to my brow and out past my outer corner and into my inner corner. And that's just going to provide us with a nice base for our shadow to grab a good hold of. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Deb. All right, guys. So, I'm glad everybody's joining. What's up, Tiaja? What I will also do is, because this is a simple everyday, we're not going to have a ton of foundation on our face, but I've got a couple little red spots. So I will take my concealer and I will dab before I do my eyes. I've got a couple spots right here. And I'll leave it there. And I'll just let it kind of sit, hang out, dry a little bit, and then we'll blend it a little bit before we put our foundation. But this is just going to give us a little bit of a cover underneath our foundation without having to put a ton of product on our face. So, what we are going to do, oh, I hope my mirror doesn't fall. You should see my like crazy impromptu setup that I did in 7 minutes because, you know, I can't ever be prepared. So what I'm going to do with that concealer on my lid, I'm taking this is a Morphe brush. It's a really fat, medium dense, just fluffy brush. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take who's matte in here? We'll go with, actually no, I lied. We're not going to use that. Hold on, I will find something else because that doesn't have what I want. Oh, here we go. This is just a Anastasia contour kit. Any light color powder that matches your skin tone. You can even use like a translucent powder, like what I'll be using on my face later. You can use this, and we're just gonna set that concealer, and this just gives us a really good base for our eyeshadow to grab a hold of, and so it will blend better rather than trying to blend our eyeshadow onto a liquid concealer. So there we go, we are set. Now that's going away, and now we are grabbing our Jaclyn Hill. The first brush I'm going to go in with, I am a brush fanatic. I have hundreds of brushes. I literally have boxes full of brushes. And some are higher end, some are lower end. I just like to buy them, see if I like them. If they're cheap and I don't like them, throw them away, no big deal. This is a Morphe R37. This is a big, I don't know how to get this to focus. Summer. This is a big fluffy brush. And what I'm going to do with this, can you see that? Okay. I am going to take the shade where are we? Right here. I don't know the name of it, but this is a light, fairly neutral tan beige color. I'm gonna dip in there and I'm going to tap off the excess. Am I frozen? Oh, love you too, Ben. I just had a text message. Oh, hold on, my boss is texting me now too. Don't you know that we have more important things to do than worry about flaxseed oil? Okay, so with that, I'm going to go start in the outer corner of my crease, I'm going to, like a windshield wiper, right across in the crease. And this is going to be my transition color. You want to have a transition shade between what's going to be your brow bone highlight up here and whatever you're doing down here. Whether you're going shimmer, bright, dark, smoky, you want to have a transition shade to make it look seamless. And also you want to blend. You don't want a harsh line so that it looks like somebody punched you and gave you a black eye. We're going to do the same thing out here. I like to start in my outer corner and just windshield wipe across. Windshield wipe across. And I go up to the, if you can see where your brow bone kind of sticks out here, that's what the big fluffy brush is good for. We're going to get right here. And you can build this up. It depends on how dark of a look you want. We're going really simple every day right now. So I'll just go back and forth until it's where I want it. And always start with a little bit of product. It's much easier to add than it is to take away. So I'll hit that one more time. Now, what we are going to do is take a smaller, a little bit more dense, also fluffy brush. This is also a Morphe M573. And I'm going to dip down into, this was the color we just used. I'm going to dip down into this one right here. I'm actually going to take a mix of these two. I'm very, very light-handed. I just tap in, tap off the excess. And we are going to go basically in the same exact place, but a little bit lower. We're going to start outer corner and stay right in the crease, windshield wipe. We're not going to go up here like we did with that first transition shade, because what this is doing is this is creating our crease and this is giving our eye depth and definition. This is especially good if you have hooded eyes. My eyes aren't too hooded. If you have a hooded eye, that means you have less eyelid space. So you want to bring your crease up and in a little bit more. So you would actually go a little bit higher than where I'm going right now. So we're going to go back and get a little bit more product and build that up to how deep we want it. Always starting in the outer corner and working our way in, because you want the majority of your product to be on your outer corner. It's going to give you a lifted, extended look to your eye by having more product and more pigment on the outside. See, look how we're getting a little bit of depth here, a little shape to these big ol' eyes. All right, same thing over here. These baby hairs are killing me. Look at that. You see that? I don't even know what to do. Hairspray doesn't even help. Hi, Maria. I hope I know how to save this video so you guys who are jumping on a little late can watch later. So same thing, windshield wiper motions. We're staying right in our crease. Starting on the outer corner. And just building, building, building till we go. One of the key things to somebody who's not used to working with makeup, who thinks they're a beginner, who doesn't even really like that, I've done it before, Kenny. I've stabbed myself plenty of times, stabbed other people. No, I'm just kidding. I try to avoid that. But one of the big things that people don't always do is blend. Blend, 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 blend. Because the more you blend, it's just going to look more seamless, going to look a little more professional. It's just going to be prettier and more flattering. This hair, I really just should have put a hat on. Actually, Roxanne, we're making tacos because according to Kai, it's Taco Tuesday. So, since we're just going for something simple that you can wear to work, you can wear wherever, this is as dark as I'm going to go. If I was doing a smoky eye, which we will be doing in a few days, we would really keep adding and adding and building up that darkness in the outer corner. However, simple every day. So, boom, that's as much as we want to get. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm taking this is a ColourPop brush. This is a flat, I don't know if you can see this, dense little brush that's good for packing. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go in with a shimmer. You need to pick it. I'm wearing like a pinky shirt, so I am going to go in with, where are we? this color right here, and I'm going to just take some on my little flat brush, tap it off again, and I'm going to start on my inner, hello Nancy, I'm going to start on my inner corner, I'm going to work my way out. Now, some people like to spray, here, we'll do this, hold on, I have spray, where is it? Some people like to spray their brush when they're using a shimmer. So what we would do would be, bam, spray. And what that does is it makes the pigment of the shimmer a little bit more opaque, and it actually will cling to your eyelid a little bit better. I don't typically do this, honestly. I usually just use my finger. I use my finger for a lot of things. Is that weird? Should I say that on a live video? Maybe we'll keep that off the YouTube channel. So we're gonna pack it on here, and if you want a little bit more pop, I wish you could see this a little better. We're gonna just take our finger, swirl around, and then we're going to pack that on just the eyelid. You want to go up to the crease, and not where we packed on this darker color out here. You don't want to cover that up. You really just want to highlight the inner section, inner 2/3 of your eyelid. And that really wakes you up, opens the eye, really pretty. I know, Crystal, sometimes I need a filter, I really do, and not like the pretty Snapchat filter, I need a mouth filter. So we're gonna do the same thing with my finger. I just like to use my finger, I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. My fiance's gonna slap me later. Are you watching? I hope you're not. Oh, you are watching, I see you, of course you would be. Shouldn't you be feeding the baby, Odie? Huh? Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing, that always building till you get the color you want, till you get the effect that you want. So I'm going to add a little bit more on here. Let's do it. I'm glad you guys find me amusing. So the thing is about this type of look, you can pretty much do this with any color shades you want. I went with a little bit neutral brown. I tend to use more warm colors. But as far as the shimmer goes, if you want a silver shimmer, if you want gold, pink, whatever color you want. And that's the thing about this palette that I love, is that there are so many beautiful shimmers. Like, I've literally done this with all of these, you can see. And if I wanted to do cool tones, I can do cool tones too. Like, you really can do the same thing, the same steps, the same process, and different colors, and get a different look each time. So that is all we're going to do for shadow today. Super easy, super simple. We're not doing a winged liner tutorial right now. What I like to do is just have my pencil, and sometimes I will use black, depending on what I'm doing. For those of you that don't wear makeup very often, or don't want it to pop so much, if you're lighter skin, lighter eyes, I would use a brown eyeliner pencil. This is a Maybelline Define a Line brownish black that I've had forever. It's one of the best. It's super creamy. It stays put. And what you're going to do is, you're not going to do anything fancy. All you want to do is just give your upper lash line a little bit of definition. So we are going to take, they say you're not supposed to stretch your skin, whatever. I get Botox, so I don't care. I can pull on my eyelid. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to pull out a little bit so my eyelid is extended and stretched. And very, very gently, I'm going to go back and forth right on top of my lash line. Not trying to go any further, do anything wild, literally just on top of my lashes. Like, you will literally see your lashes moving because you want to be right in there. It's so great. I love this liner. I've literally been using it for probably 1,700 years. Another thing you can do, which I will do this when I use lashes, I don't... Hey, you got me on it. When you could not make that face, I was like, I don't want to look angry ever. I want to not be able to make a frowny face too. So when I wear lashes and stuff, I will do this. I don't typically do this because I wear contacts and it bothers me sometimes, but if you want a tight line, what you do is you kind of go on the inside of your waterline, your lash line. You're going to go underneath your eyelashes without poking yourself in the eye or drawing on your eyeball. But see, all that does is just gives us a little bit of definition without having to do a wing, worry about that, anything. Super simple. I'm sure if you can draw your name, if you can draw a letter, if you can write your name, you can draw a line on the eyelid. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. Very, very, here, I'll go here. I think I can see. Very, very tight to the lash line. I'm so sweaty and I need a fan in here. I get too nervous. You people make me nervous. Or maybe I'll not sure what's gonna come out of my mouth is making me nervous. Ooh, I'm sorry. I would be very sad without my lashes. We can work on falsies. I know you know how to put falsies on, Deb. Don't even play. So we got the top line, and since I tight lined on the other one, I'm going to tight line on this one so that we look cohesive. And the thing about using a brown opposed to a black, it's really just not going to look as harsh. Like I said, for those of you who are a little bit lighter, it's just not going to look like you're going out to a club. It's going to look pretty and simple and easy. So there are our eyes. I've been doing this for a while. I've done practice. And the thing about liner, and we will do a winged liner tutorial in the future. But the thing about liner is that, like, just practice. Honestly, before you go to bed, just bloop, bloop, oh, and you can just wipe it right off. Like, it's really not, people get super intimidated by it, and don't ever be intimidated by makeup because it's not permanent. You can just take it off and try again. That's the beauty of it. That's the fun of it. Lashes tutorial next. Okay, we got you. I'll put it on the list. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to do this a week. I'm going to try and do this twice a week. By the way, twice a week, I think we'll be able to get everything. So, I am not going to put a primer on because I just got out of the shower. I just moisturize my skin. If I'm wearing my foundation all day long, I will put a primer on because I have very oily skin. If you're dry, as long as you're moisturized, you should be okay. And I am going to use the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 in shade 04 Medium Beige. I really like this. I think it's like $10 or $12 for this, and it's a really good foundation. You can use it for full coverage if you want, or I am going for light coverage today. So what I'm going to do is put a little drop on my finger. I'm going to dab here. One here, and this is about how much product I'm using. I'm not using very much. One on the chin, about half that on my nose, and the same on my forehead, because I'm just gonna spread this around. If you're not used to wearing makeup, if you don't want to look like you're wearing a lot of makeup, then don't wear a lot of makeup. You can just use a little bit and just spread it out. I'm using a brush. I don't even know what this is. Look, it's literally like worn off. It's from a kit that I got on Amazon for like $10 for 70 brushes or something, and I liked it. So I'm going to use this brush. It's very thick, very dense, short. I really like it when I'm doing my foundation like this, when I want to just spread it around. If I'm doing really full coverage glam, then I'm going to probably use a beauty blender. And we're going to spread this all the way down our neck and behind our ear and a little bit on our ear. You don't want to ever have a line. Like, I literally will sometimes blend down to my collarbone, like everywhere. And just use small little, and you almost want to be pushing it into your skin, pushing the product into your skin while you are doing this. Behind the ear, on the ear, you want everything to match. Down the neck. I always used to like miss a spot right here, and I would get in my car and look in the mirror and be like, oh! And then I'd have like a white spot, a big white hole in my chin. And this is good because it's going to even out your skin tone and give you a good base without having too much makeup on and looking cakey or having to bake with powder or cream like, it's just very simple, very easy for every day. For like, you're not gonna feel like you have a lot of makeup on, you're not gonna feel uncomfortable, you're not gonna have to worry about sweating it off. Like, what is this? Is this a hair? Oh, yeah, that's a hair. I don't know if it's a dog hair or brush hair. And just make sure that is spread out evenly. And see, leaving the concealer on covered up my spots a lot. Like I said, this is not a full coverage, like, super glam drag queen look. This is just very easy, for every day. And now we are going to set this. I'm using a Maybelline. I use a lot of Maybelline products. I like drugstore. What can I say? Maybelline has good shit. Can I say shit? Ooh. Okay, this is Mineral Power Finishing Veil Translucent Powder. This powder is a little bit light. Aw, thank you, Deb. You're so sweet. Which I like because we are not concealing. If I'm using concealer, it doesn't really matter, but this will kind of give the effect of having concealer without actually having to use concealer. Because like I said, we don't want to have a whole ton of makeup caked on our face. If you're just going to be at work for 8 hours and have kids and go to the gym and do all this other stuff that, like, we want it to look very natural and very, here we go, hold on, okay. So I'm using a, what is this? A Morphe M438. This is like an angled, dense, kind of fluffy brush. I'm tapping it into this powder. I'm going to push it into my under eyes. It's great. I love the angle, obviously, because you can get right up in there. I'm going to make kind of a triangular shape under my eye and out, and then I'm going to brush. I'm going to sweep it down and out. And I'm also going to sweep down into my laugh line, as well as on the side of my nose, and out into my highlighted area. And so without having concealer, we're giving ourselves a lightness and a cover up here without having to have more product on our face. This is going to set our foundation. We're going to do the same thing over on this side. And I mean, you could like bake the same way. I don't bake unless I have a ton of foundation on. Like, you just don't really need to do that. It's just a little bit too much for this kind of thing for an everyday. And I'm going to also take it, I'm going to go right here in my Cupid's bow. And the great thing is, like, it is translucent, but it, like, makes it a little bit lighter, so you can kind of put it everywhere. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And I always do my chin, little chinny chin chin. Get this here. And I will do try and keep it right on the middle of my nose and up between my eyes and the middle of my forehead. And you will literally get powder everywhere. I get powder everywhere all the time. It looks like, well, looks like I'm baking cookies most of the time. What you can also do, we will get into a contour thing later on, but we're not going to do that today. But sometimes if I want to give the illusion, I will just make a line from my ear to my mouth and just sweep it all away, blend it in, sweep it away. And let's see if you can see this. We are going to do this on the other side. Looks like the Joker, right? Wait until we actually do a contour session. I look crazy. And same thing with the eyes when you're doing your face. Blend, 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 blend. Like, we don't want to look like somebody drew on us. We really just want it all to look seamless and enhance what we have. So next step is going to be our bronzer. This is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil in light medium. This is a matte bronzer. I clearly need a new one. So got a birthday coming up. If anybody wants to send me a present, I'll repeat this one. This is my favorite bronzer of all time. I have not found a bronzer that is drugstore, that is high end, that I like near as much, and it smells like chocolate. I could just... Okay, I'll stop sniffing my bronzer. I am taking, this is an e.l.f. brush. This is a huge, fluffy, round brush that I love. And it's kind of hard because I have like no product left in this pan, but I'm just sweeping this around like this. And I'm going to start, we're going to start right here, kind of by our ear, I don't know what you would call this, like our temple. And in little circular motions, we're going to bring it down and then sweep back and forth on our cheekbone. So what we're doing is, we're not exactly contouring, but we are giving our face some shape while setting our foundation. Oh, you can like taste the chocolate, it's so good, I swear. I know it's weird. And we're just gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna go down on the outside of our face. What we wanna do is highlight the parts of our face that you want to stick out and contour the ones that you want to look skinnier. So doing this is gonna make us look snatched, skinny, and give us a nice facial frame. So we're gonna go back in here with more product, and build it up how much we want to look. See, can you see here how it's just pulling me in? And then I'll go here, and don't forget the jawline. I have a horrible double chin. It's genetic. My children have it. I'm sure their children will have it. It's just one of those things. Although they have surgery for that too. I haven't gotten there. We're working on that. And we're doing the same thing. The other side, little circles back and forth on that cheekbone. Up until the hairline. Always go into your hairline because you don't want to stop here and then you can just see that line of makeup. So you want to just blend it up into your hair. Especially when I was missing my hair in these areas. Whew. Let's not talk about these things. I'm going to add a little bit more product up. And the thing that's beautiful about this brush is it really, like, you don't have to be super careful about where you're putting it because it's just going to naturally go where it's supposed to, if that makes any sense. Like, if you have a very small brush, like if I'm using something like this to contour with, like, you're gonna have a very severe line and you're gonna have to work a little bit harder to make it look more natural and to blend it. With this, you're not gonna have that at all because this brush just gets it in all the right places. All right, and then I also use my bronzer to set that foundation that we blended down our neck because I have this and no neck, so we're trying to make it look skinnier and longer by adding the bronzer. Now, last, we have to bronze up our forehead. Depending on how the shape, the size of your forehead, depends on how much you're gonna bronze. If you have a very small forehead, you just have to do a little bit because you don't want to bring it down anymore. I got some forehead. So we're gonna start right here. How do I get your face? I mean, you could probably, like, I don't know, get some latex. Maybe we'll make a model. You can wear my face. Can we do that for Halloween? Can you be me, Brie? So we're gonna go right here. I don't even know what part of your forehead you would call that. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know. I went to school for aesthetics, not freaking anatomy. And I'm also chins on chins on chins. Like my children, I swear, I feel bad for them. They got their dad's nose though, so can we spread all the pros? I love that the guys are watching this. So what we're doing here, if you can see, is we are trying to make my forehead look a little bit narrower because I got a big old head. And now we are going to try and bring it down. So we are going to go right across the top. Back and forth, blend, 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 blend. And what we have done now is given our face some shape. And voila! We are done with our bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it. Next up, I like to use my blush. Hi, Tessa. This is, God, some of these things are, look how dirty this is. This has been around. This has been around the ringer. This is Frat Boy from the Balm Cosmetics. I don't even know where or when I got this. It's like a rosy, kind of dusty pink with a, are you shimmery? Maybe a tiny, tiny, tiny touch shimmer. Sound effects. Am I making sound effects? Oh, God. I'm not going to be able to watch this. I can use your 5 head. Thank you. Can I use your 5 head for a contour video? When you come over, Nikki, if you ever come over, we will do contour. So I do not like to use a shimmery blush. I do not like to use a shimmery bronzer. Ever. Like, I don't want to. I just don't. That's dirty. I know, right? Look, isn't that awful? God. At least it's not dirty inside, I don't think. I've had this for a while. I don't know where it came from. But blush, I can handle a teeny bit of shimmer, but I try not to. Like, when I put my highlight on, my shimmer, I put it where I want it pop in. Like, I don't want my whole face to be shimmery. Like, I'm not a vampire. I'm not in Twilight. So we're going to just dip into this, tap off, and right, I don't think I can do this and talk. Right on the apples of our cheeks, we are going to tap. And this is, honestly, I got this in a packet of like 5 generic brushes from Walmart, and I love it. It's my favorite blush brush. It's pretty dense. It's angled for my cheeks, so we're going to dab here And we're going to sweep outwards across the top of our cheekbone. I don't like a lot of blush because I'm Mexican Italian, I have anxiety, like I get nervous and my face turns red. And I drink wine and my face turns really red, and I drink wine a lot. So like I don't need a lot of blush. So there we go, we're tapping and sweeping. Tap and sweep, tap and sweep. I feel like that could be our little blush motto. I'm never gonna be able to watch this video. I'd be so embarrassed. I'm already embarrassed. It's fine. Alright. I'm probably turning red as we speak. It's probably not even the blush. This blush probably has no pigment. I'm just nervous, so I turn red. So, oh, you know what we forgot to do? This is something I've just become obsessed with doing. I always forget. I always forget it, even though it's my favorite thing ever. And it's always like the last thing I do. I contour my nose because we got a lot going on here. And we've broken this thing a couple times, and I'm not a millionaire. I just can't, you know, go fix everything. So what I'm using is a Morphe E47. This is a thick, flat brush. And I'm going to dip into the bronzer that I was just using. And I'm just going to, what I want to do is I want to draw two lines that are going to make my nose appear narrower and smaller. And that's it, because I got a big one. So depending on your face shape, on your nose shape, whatever, if you have to do this, if you don't have to do this, if you want to do this, if you don't, it doesn't matter. But like this for me is, I have to. I just can't go out of the house without a nose contour. So what I'm doing is, I think I can do this on camera instead of on my mirror. I have a mirror over here, but you can't always see exactly how I see. So I'm going down the side of the bridge of my nose in a very straight line, like so. We're just going to drag down, and then we're going to blend outwards a little bit, because you don't really want it to look like a street drawn down the middle of your nose, but you want your nose to look a little bit smaller. We're doing that over here also, and blending down the side a little bit. We're gonna do a little bit more right here. And then I'm also making a little point of my nose to try and make it appear cute. Like a little button nose that I don't have because we got a big old schnoz. See, it's a little bit better. I don't do too much because, like I said, we're not really doing like a full face contour glam, snatched everything, no. We have a couple more steps left, guys. So, next thing we're going to do is our under eye, because no eye is complete without an under eye. You got the top, you got the bottom. We are going to take two brushes for this. That's it. All we have is this is literally another one of those random ones I got. It's a very small, medium dense, kind of fluffy brush. And then this is, oh shit, where'd that go? Hold on. Damn, I said oh shit again. Am I allowed to curse on this? I should have some wine, but I don't have wine. This is a Sonia Kashruk, I think that's what it says. It's like worn off. I've had this thing for 18 years. This is a angled flat brush. We're using these two that I just like broke. I might need another one of these for our under eye. I'm trying to use as little amount of product, brushes, everything for you guys, so that when you do this at home or if you want to experiment, you don't feel overwhelmed with the amount of stuff you have. Because if y'all could see the stuff I got, I have a lot. We are going back with the same colors that we used earlier, our transition color, that light tan color. And we are just going to sweep underneath our lash line, because we want our eyes to be cohesive. Like I said, can't have a top without a bottom. Is that a gay joke? Can I make a gay joke out of that? Huh? I have any gay guy friends? I need to find some. If you have a gay guy friend, invite them to watch this and tell them to be my friend, because I need some more gay guy friends in my life. I'm gonna do the same thing, sweep back and forth. Can you see that color there? And then we are going to take the angled brush, and with the two darker shades that we used on the top of our eye, we're going to dab back and forth, shake off. This we're going to get tight to our lower lash line. The transition color is the same idea. You want to have that transitional shade between your lash line and the rest of your face, your concealer or whatever. So this we are getting really tight under our lash line. And just little strokes are a lot easier to not screw up with. If you get in there, and especially when we get to the wing, you'll learn this. If you get in there and you just start like going ham, you're gonna mess up. So little, very precise strokes are what we want. And then we'll take a little bit more of just a dark color and we will focus that on the outer corner of our lash line because that is pulling our eye. See? Don't we look finished over here? Can't have a top without a bottom. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Very, very tight. Can you see me? Very, very tight to our lash line. And I did a mixture of those two colors that we used in our crease to define our crease. And then I'm dipping back into just the darker one and keeping the darker one on the outer third of our eyeball to really help open it up. See? There's that. Now we're going to, what do we, don't you have something better to do, honey? We are going to take our brown liner that we use on the top. And this is also one of these things that I'm not necessarily going to do all the time, but sometimes I will, and I'm going to line my lower waterline. Some people really can't do this. They literally just blink and tear up. I had a girl whose makeup I did when I was in school, and this poor thing, I love doing her makeup, but the second I even like looked at her lower lash line, she just started crying. So see how we have here? But you don't have to do this. I like to do it. I don't know. It's kind of like a personal preference. Some people like a lighter or a naked waterline. Sometimes I'll put like a nice gold in there or white, open up your eye. But for me, I just like the dark. So that's on our waterline. Now we need mascara. My favorite mascara of all time is Too Faced Better Than Sex. It's phenomenal, more expensive, higher end. However, I have been obsessed with the L'Oreal Voluminous. They have a dupe for the Better Than Sex. It's Voluminous Lash Paradise. I don't like it as much as this combo. This is my go-to everyday, all the time combo. This is the Voluminous Base, which is a white primer, and the Voluminous Original. So we're going to take our primer and we're going to just try and get this on the tips of our lashes in a roll. We're just rolling like this. I know a few that can probably do your mascara really good because y'all are good at rolling. Oh, it's funny. I shouldn't be joking about these kinds of things. And we're just going to put a little bit. You don't want it a lot because the more you put on your lashes, the clumpier they're going to get. Usually. Unless you're like using super gray mascara and all this stuff. But for what we're doing, just put a little bit on there. This is going to make them longer and thicker because it's going to have something for your mascara to grab onto. We're taking our actual mascara wand and we're starting, can you see me? Hold on, let me fix my mirror. Okay, we're starting on the outer corner on the top of our lashes and we're going to roll and always kind of try and pull them upwards and out. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Kamate? Oh, I thought I saw kamate. So we're going to do the tops of our lashes first. And very slow, very precise. We make weird faces when we do mascara. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do the bottom. With that same rolling motion. Sometimes I'll like wiggle it a little bit just to make sure I get all sides of our eyelash, because that's what's really going to make your eyelashes look longer and thicker, is if you're coating top, bottom, and the sides of which you've got. And then we're going to get, and you probably can't see this because I'm trying to get all my little bitty lashes. And see, look at that. Opens up our eye, gives us a nice flare, gives us something. The primer is honestly what makes a big difference. Like, I am obsessed with this stuff. Actually, I had a friend, Anna Banana, I don't think you're watching, you should be, I'll have to text you, that got me onto, she used like 4 different kinds of mascara, and when we were 18, I was like, oh my god, I've never never seen this before. It looks amazing. So now I'm like obsessed with just using, I don't know what you guys are talking about still. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just apply the primer to the ends of our lashes. And then we are going to take our mascara and the same thing, start on the top, on the outside, and roll up and out. I have like wonky lashes on the side that go, I don't know if you can see them. You don't see them? They just go. I don't know where they're going. They go somewhere else compared to the rest of them. So do the top and work our way to the inside and then switch to the bottom and really work on coating these lashes without making them clumpy. If you do get a clump, you can take tweezers and like kind of separate your lashes, or sometimes you can take a spoolie or like an actual, hold on. Oh, I don't know what you call this. I guess just a mascara. See, look at all the junk on this. That's actually because I used to clean my eyebrow thing. But, and separate your lashes if you do get a big clump. Like, don't freak out. And if you get a clump in your eyelashes, don't keep using your mascara wand to try and get rid of it, because you're just going to add more mascara and you're just going to clump it up more. So take something that has no product on it and try and separate your lashes so you don't look like a 1940s baby doll. I sometimes will use a different kind of mascara for my bottom lashes, but for this instance, like we're trying to use less things, we'll use the same mascara for our lower lash line. I have super duper long lashes on the bottom, so I try not to even use too much mascara because it ends up on my cheeks. But we're just gonna very barely tap over these lower lashes and get some product on them and get them visible. Hello, little lower lash line baby lashes. Do the same thing over here. Same thing over here. Now our eyes are open, awake, defined, and pretty. Now the last part, second to last part, is my favorite. If any of you know me, you know this is my favorite. We are going to take that same little round dense brush that we used on our lower lash line for our highlight. Hola, Julio. This is my favorite highlight of all time. It's a Wet n Wild Reflect Shimmer palette. I don't even know what the name of it is. I think it's called like, oh, Boozy Brunch. Boozy Brunch, that's right. Which, you know, it's perfect for me because I like to drink a little bit. I'm going to dip into this highlighter and we're going to put this right underneath our brows and our brow bone. I live for a brow bone highlight. Like, I've been living for a brow bone highlight before a brow bone highlight was even a thing. And I like to use the same highlight that I'm using on my cheekbone and the rest of my face on my brow bone and my inner corner to really pull the look together. And I'm going to also put this right in my inner corner. And what that is going to do is just make me look more awake. And I do the same thing on the other side, right on the brow bone. And a little bit more on the inner corner. And then I'm going to take my highlight brush. This is the one I'm using. I use different ones. I use just something small and fluffy. Some people use a fan brush. Some people use something more dense. I like a small fluffy brush for my highlight. This is a Morphe M510. I don't know if you can see it. It's like kind of a golden pink highlight, but it's beautiful. We're going to swirl around, tap off, and then I'm going to highlight my cheekbones. I'm going to do just a touch right here above my eyebrows. So we're going to come in here, little circular sweeping motions. You want this to kind of be in one spot, just a little. And we're going to sweep out and up into, is this your temple or is your temple here? I don't know, whatever this little area is here. And that is just going to give us a little pop, see? And you can build this up. I mean, if you really, really, really want more, but this is kind of a little bit more subtle, sort of subtle. I don't think I'm ever subtle with my highlight, but it's okay. Do the same thing on the other side. And this is raising our cheekbones. Because what we did here is with our bronzer, the bronzer, we're making ourselves appear a little skinnier, putting those cheekbones in. And when the light hits us highlight, it's making them look lifted and very like va-va-voom, you know, like got here and a little bit right here. I'm also doing a little tiny bit of nose contour, just tapping on the tip, because like when we do the contour, we want to try and have that little cute button nose, and a little bit right across the top of my lip. Now, a lot of times I do not wear anything on my lips because I have babies and I kiss them a lot, and so, and you know, I kind of kiss Odie a lot too, so I don't like to get my lipstick everywhere on everybody. But if I am wearing lipstick, and you can like take a wipe, when we've got foundation and some powder on our lips, you can wipe it off, or you can just go right over it. This is my favorite combo. This is a Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in 03 Nude. And we are just going to line the outside of our lip. The great thing about a nude lip is you don't have to be super precise. Like if you're using something really dark, really bright, you have to be perfect with your liner. And you're gonna feel kind of uncomfortable, especially if you don't wear makeup a lot. So we're just lining the outside of our lips there. And I'm using also a Milani, what are you? I don't know what name this is, but it's a Milani lipstick. This is in Nude Cream. It's a little bit pinkier than the lip liner. I'm going to fill in. Our lips. And then, because I always love a little shimmer, if you can't tell, we're using, this is just a Too Faced Funfetti lip gloss. It's a nude color. It just has a little bit of shimmer, a little shine. We are going to go over this. And this lip gloss is great because it's not sticky. So this crazy hair ain't going to stick to your lipstick. Oh, my phone's going to die. That's great. So, we are done, guys. Then what we're going to do is use our setting spray, because we don't want all this to go anywhere. And you're good for every day. Going to work, going to the mall, going wherever. And once you get to do this a few times, you'll get the hang of it and you can do it really fast. I can do this in under 20 minutes, usually, if I don't have distractions, 15 maybe. And this is it. So, I hope you guys like it. I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. Comment, leave me whatever suggestions, questions, what we want the next video to be. We're probably going to do a smoky eye. I'll let you know when we're going to do that later this week. So, bye!